Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever stared blankly at the Indian income tax return portal and just felt completely overwhelmed by all the options, you are absolutely not alone. Today, we're breaking down the entire ITR ecosystem. And our goal here isn't to just rattle off a bunch of technical rules, right? We want to give you a clear visual map so you can find your exact match without the usual headache. It's kind of like the ultimate matchmaking process, but for your finances. So, to really make sense of this, I want you to imagine you're an employer with a very specific job opening, filing your annual taxes. Well, we have exactly 7 candidates for the job, 7 ITR forms. Each of these forms is basically raising its hand, ready and willing to handle your tax filing. But, just like any job interview, you can't hire a specialist for a generalist's job, and you definitely can't hire a total beginner to run a massive corporation. You gotta pick the exact right candidate. Here's the lineup we're looking at today. First, how income decides your form. Second, forms for salaried individuals. Third, forms for business owners. Fourth, forms for corporate entities. And finally, why correct filing actually matters. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Income Decides Your Form. The absolutely crucial point to remember here is that it's not really about how much money you make. It is entirely about how you make that money. Your specific type of income directly dictates which of the 7 forms you've got to file. So whether you're earning a standard monthly paycheck, trading stocks on your lunch break, running a local bakery, or maybe managing a massive charitable trust, the source of your wealth is the compass pointing you to the right form. Literally, if you get the income type wrong, you're going to get the form wrong. Moving right along to Section 2, Forms for Salaried Individuals. Now, there's a pretty clear line between a simple financial life and a slightly more complex one. If you've got a straightforward salary, maybe you own one house property, and you earn a little bit of interest from your bank account, ITR1, also known as Sahaj, which translates to simple, is your ideal candidate. It's basically jumping up and down saying, hire me. But the second your financial life levels up, ITR2 steps into the ring. Let's say you decide to sell some stocks or mutual funds, boom, you trigger capital gains. Or maybe you buy a second house, or you're a non-resident Indian, or hold foreign assets. Suddenly, ITR1 is totally out of its depth, and ITR2 becomes the exact candidate you need for the job. Okay, Section 3, Forms for Business Owners. So within the business and trading world, there's a very distinct divide. For the heavy lifting, we've got ITR3. If you're a business owner, a working professional, a partner in a firm, or you're heavily involved in complex market moves, like futures and options or intraday trading, ITR3 is custom built to handle that kind of variable income. But for the smaller operations, we have ITR4, also known as Sugam. Much like Sahaj means simple for the salaried folks, Sugam provides a highly simplified, really accessible path for small business owners and professionals who just need a straightforward tax filing process, without all the heavy lifting required by ITR3. It's really all about matching the complexity of the form directly to the complexity of your business. Now for Section 4, Forms for Corporate Entities. As we leave individual taxpayers behind, we're rapidly scaling up into the realm of larger entities. ITR5 is going to be your form for partnership firms, limited liability partnerships, associations of persons, bodies of individuals, and similar non-company entities. Next up, we have ITR6, which has a very strict, highly corporate resume. It's used exclusively by private limited companies and other registered companies to file their returns. And finally, ITR7 operates in a lane completely of its own. It's totally reserved for special exemption cases. So if you're managing a trust, running an NGO, or operating an educational institution like a school or college, ITR7 is the mandatory candidate you have to hire. No exceptions. Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, Why Correct Filing Matters. It really all boils down to a very clear, direct warning. Correct filing is extremely important. Selecting the wrong candidate for your taxes just isn't an option here. If you try to force complex F&O trading income into a simple ITR1 form, or say you use an individual form for a corporate entity, the system is literally just going to reject it. Getting this right is absolutely essential for your financial compliance and, honestly, your peace of mind. The framework is there to guide you, but the responsibility of matching your income to the right form, that falls squarely on your shoulders. We've now met all 7 candidates. We've seen exactly how they specialize, from the simplest standard salary all the way to the most complex charitable trust. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Take a really close look at your own financial life over the past year. Look at those salary slips, your trading accounts, your side hustles, or your business ledgers. When you lay it all out, based on your exact streams of income, which of these 7 forms do you need to hire today?